Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having an awesome night. I've not been able to share this too quick. We just had the intro and we started just a little bit late, but we got Pastor Mike here. It's going to be awesome time in the Lord. How you doing, Pastor Mike?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm just down here at the ball field. We run out of everything, so I've done already made a couple trips up to the main location. But it's a
Oh, that,
good thing. I reckon it's a good thing when you do run out.
well, you sold out?
Oh yeah, sold out of everything that the building would hold, and then had to run and go get some more stuff. So
Wow.
yeah,
You rolling
all
today, ain't you?
well, we've been busy. I've had to cover the pool too, so we've been busy.
That's cool. So I guess summer is in full way, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's a good thing. So we're going to be talking about quite a bit of things tonight. You know, they opened up the President Library for President Obama today or yesterday.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
that's
heard.
it looks like a big toilet. Is what they said.
Yeah. They ought to have that guy from the UFC to be the keynote speaker.
Yeah, yes. Yes, it's really weird. I mean, and they said even the guys that helped build the whole building, they ain't paid them yet. So,
Right.
Oh
They
yeah.
went bankrupt. Several of them are going bankrupt because they're losing their business over it.
yes,
I reckon they forgot that they were supposed to be donating all their services.
yeah, it's a really weird thing, but yeah, it seems they're talking. Oh, all the people are suffering, and these dreamers that need a place to live. They're Americans too. They're the dreamers. That means the illegal citizens or the not citizens, the
Yeah.
illegal aliens that came in here. They call them dreamers, trying to get them to vote for them. So
Hey, you know what? What's his name ought to do? Musk ought to tell Sanders and the other clowns, AOC and all the others, you give every dime you got that you're worth away, and I'll give a proportional
dreamers.
amount away, and let's call it a day. They talk all
Yes,
that smack, but they won't do nothing to help nobody.
yeah, they want to get all these. Their dream is that they'll vote for them. That's the dream about them. That's what they mean by dreamers. They're
Yeah,
dreaming that they'll vote for them.
yeah. Well,
So
you got some of these people like you remember when Gilligan on Gilligan Island when he was a politician, he said, "I promise you this, that, and everything." These people, they believe it and they'll buy into it. That's what's wrong. You got all these people thinking they can stay home and not do anything.
well, the thing of it is, the Democrat Party was using the African American community to vote for them. So they quit using them. They're kicking them off to the side, and they're getting Hispanic community to vote for them because they could bring them in by the hundreds and the thousands. And they
Yeah,
think that if they can pack them into these cities, they can actually get them in there. So they're using them.
yeah,
They're just they don't care about them. They don't care about anybody but power and themselves.
yeah.
So
Oh, I agree. I agree. I just wonder what word God's going to use when He holds them all accountable for what they've done. I can think of some choice words, but I don't think He'll do that other than just depart from me, you doers of iniquity. And that's pretty much putting it just where they can hopefully understand. I doubt it,
yeah,
though. They won't get it.
yeah, it's just crazy. When you got to destroy your own nation just to get power to get your own self in to vote. I mean, it don't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I don't think I would want to destroy my own nation and to make it if I had the authority to go and have our government to just open up all the borders and just pile them in where I can get my vote in or get them to vote for me, it would be terrible. I mean, well, would you want to sleep at night and know that you got voted in by a bunch of illegal immigrants and knowing that the American people themselves wouldn't even vote for you? You had to make the vote. So
Well,
it's not.
I don't think they care though. That's
No,
the
they don't.
sad part about it. You know, they don't care, and that's just a reality. I mean, you know, it's just like when I was telling you when I was umping that ball game. All those people, all they cared about was playing ball. They wouldn't care about people that was hurting and people that needed salvation. Could you imagine somebody burning in hell saying, "Why didn't you tell me? I was too busy playing ball."
Yep. That's yeah, they don't really worry about those things. They just worry about what's going on with themselves, you know. So,
Yeah,
but
amen.
the thing we still, you know, with salvation and with evangelism, I actually just allow God to push in, you know, guide me into people. I don't go and just chase people down. There are some people that chase people down and they're doing that. I don't do that. I kindly get urged by God, hey, go talk to that person. Hey, you need to say this, you need to say that, because it really opens you up to the people that will listen to you.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
there's some people that won't listen to you. You're just wasting oxygen, you know.
yeah,
And there's some that will. So you know, God knows the ones that their heart is ready for the message.
amen.
So it's an amazing thing to be able to be used for that. But yes, there's a lot of things that's going right now in the Iranian war, and you know, he signed another peace deal, and you know how that normally goes, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. They, you know, me personally, uh, I remember I remember when they went and took all the hostages from the embassy and everything, and Jimmy Carter was president, and interest rates was 20 something percent, and he tried to go over and get them, and all those people ended up dead. Uh, Trump comes along and says, "Hey, Soleimani, I'm gonna mess him up," and he messed him up, man. And then
Yeah,
they holler about, "Oh, you can't do that. You hold him accountable. You gonna mess up."
Yeah, I'm about to get in and get the corn.
So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah. It's really crazy because I mean we all know that the Iranians, they're never going to go by their word because they're Muslims. They're going to lie to get what they need. So
yeah,
that's just how they play. They'll actually, I'll say this, they'll actually go by that paper for maybe a month, and then all of a sudden, you know, something else will start happening, and then they'll go start, you know, having those issues again, and then
yeah,
we'll be back on the same track. You just got to go in there and clean the whole you know, the whole thing out, get
yeah.
all the government out, and just go in there and clean it out, and put in another government, and then it'll be better, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's just going to go ahead, have to go in there and just clean house is what he's going to have to do.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's waited this long, trying to negotiate with them. I'd just go ahead and tell them, just like they did before, drop leaflets over them and just tell all the people, just get into hiding and whatever you got to do because we're getting ready to pound on y'all.
Definitely, definitely. What do you think about all this, Ed?
Well, Mike had said something more about the reason. The reason that Trump isn't doing anything about it now, he wants to spare the Iranian people because he doesn't want to see all those innocent lives killed. But there's no way possible that they're going to ever give up. They're going to have to destroy them. And really, I'll tell you, the politicians, these ones that are the mainliners right now, we see like in California and all, they're the same way. They won't give in. They're going to have to be taken out. They're going to have to be destroyed. Judgment's going to have to come on them because they're not going to turn because most of them are too far gone. So really, these politicians, even though they're neat, clean looking, and everything as compared to the people in Iran, these characters, they're homegrown terrorists. What they do, they've had many years at it. But I think, fellas, that we're coming to a head now. I felt it for this year very much so. And then with the election coming up in November, and I really believe that in fact, Tulsi Gabbard, she has a thing on the doctor right there, as far as COVID and everything, she has enough to hang him. And then they have it on Obama the same way. I mean, they have this stuff in all these men. And one thing for sure, their justice is going to have to be served because otherwise we will be saying that some people are above the law. So in this state's facing to really do the right thing, justice is going to have to come. But I believe it will because God is in this thing, and in order for us to really have any type of revival or anything major to go on, it's going to have to be the Red Sea's going to have to be parted for a period of time until we get our job done, what God wants, and then He'll let the thing go, and then that'll be the rapture of the church. But it's going to have to be a way made because it's not going to be the wisdom of President Trump or anybody, any man, because God has this in His hands. A lot of times it's easy to forget that because you see what's going on, and this doesn't do this, that doesn't do that. But God is working something out far greater, I believe, that He's going to demonstrate that crime doesn't pay and He's for real. And He's going to show Himself. I really believe that. Because these guys' days are numbered. A lot of them are afraid now, just like the governor right there and his wife. They're terrified of what's going to happen. They all know that. So we're on the winning team. I just see it as a victory. I know some people don't agree with that, but that's what I feel in my spirit. I believe that, and I haven't changed since that time because it's Bible, and it's really what God's going to do because it can't happen any other way if we're going to have a revival. There's no way it could be revived as it is right now until the manifestation.
That's
Pastor
true.
Theron, I'm gonna have to get out here and help them again. Okay, they got another big line. So
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for coming on here
all
tonight.
right, all right, y'all take care, guys. All right,
You too, man.
bye bye.
Have a blessed one now.
Amen. Amen. But yes, there's a lot of things going on there in the government right now as we speak, and I really believe that we're going to see a lot more stuff. I think he hit the phone there, but anyway, I'm gonna let it sit there. I don't think he's going to come on. I think he's pocket calling us.
Yeah, working now. I kind of thought that was going to happen because he's busy there on the field. They need him, I guess, out there doing some things.
Yeah, he's really busy during the summer months. I mean, during the wintertime, you'll see him on here more, but in the summertime, it's full blast down there in the baseball field. That's just the way it normally is.
That's his life right there, really. What he's doing down there, he spends his time, and like I said, summertime is when the sports are all in action.
Yeah. Yeah, they got I'm trying to see they did have a thing about Obama's I'm gonna show you guys some of this stuff right quick. I got the problem is they got so much commercials on everything, and I got to get the commercials off. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let you guys see a little bit of this weird looking thing that Obama's got here. That he declares that's his building. But it's really funny. I mean, once you see it, you'll be like, "What in the world is that thing?"
It is, and there's writings on there. They're American words, but it looks like something from another country, and it's ugly. It's plain down ugly. It's the most hideous. I'd be ashamed of it.
Yeah, here we go. He's going to try to say something here. So here we go. There's all the Democrats.
Sweet home, Chicago. Please have a seat. Thank you, Puneet, for that outstanding introduction.
I don't want to hear him talk.
President and Mrs. Bush.
Hard to listen.
President Secretary Clinton.
Thank you
for
can you hear it?
With us today.
Yeah.
Wow, presidential. Man, that's some weird looking too.
President and Dr. Biden.
Man, then over here we got the Hamburglar there. That's Clinton's wife.
Yeah.
And we got I don't know what's going on there, but it's just really I can't even believe Bush is even there. That's really weird.
Well, he's a good friend of Obama.
I need to get the thing of the buildings. What I want to look at. I got something here, but I want to see the buildings. What I want to see. They got to have one of the building here, so I'm gonna go and look for the building.
The people around there were complaining. They were complaining about voting everything like prayer. They're really on that about it.
Yeah,
he's not too popular.
Yeah, he's not. They're not happy about it. But this here is him talking about all his stuff, and we all know that most of the stuff that he did, the president actually took the thing down because it was actually hurting the United States. So
Joe,
let me
we start.
anyway, let me take this thing down. I'll go find another one. That there, the only thing that's going to do is just talk about, he's going to sit there and talk about a half an hour, and I don't want that one. I want something better than that.
Yeah, he talks about unity, then he deunifies President Trump, and he's jealous because President Trump is getting the job done and he's doing it right, and he isn't in that place because he's a narcissist, and narcissists don't want to see somebody outdoing him. And of course, he's at the bottom of the totem pole now, and that doesn't do him any good, you see. That's why he acts the way he does.
Yeah, I got to see that. Hold me here. There we got. I'll find one. They have a lot of it trying to show the presidential center here. They need a picture of the presidential center. Oh, they even had Bruce Springsteen. He was actually, here we go. We might get to see it right here. Let's see what this is. Here we go. I think I found something. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up where you guys can see this. And you got to see it. I mean, they had it hid. They actually had it hid where you couldn't even see it. Here it is.
This Juneteenth weekend, C-SPAN received advanced access to the museum and spoke with Obama Foundation CEO Valerie Jarrett and the museum's director, Louise Bernard, about the exhibits and artifacts that chronicled Barack Obama's life and presidency. You'll also hear from the architects of the Obama Presidential Center Tower and the ideas behind its design. Here's a look inside.
Hi, I'm Louise Bernard. I'm the founding director of the Obama Presidential Center Museum. I joined the Obama Foundation in 2017, and I have been leading the charge to design the museum exhibits. So as the visitor arrives on the first level of the museum, the gallery is called Toward a More Perfect Union. President and Mrs. Obama wanted to ensure that we embedded their story in a nuanced contextual history, which is to say we help to frame a narrative around the social movements and milestones. In Toward a More Perfect Union, they're approaching an exhibit.
This is weird. They have nothing of Michelle Obama when she was a dude, or when they have her when she's older. You see no kid pictures of her. You see nothing of her except when she married him.
Yeah. Her mother said Michael. Michael.
Yeah, but you don't. But see, if she was a woman, they would have her, as a little girl dancing around, or when she was a girl and all that stuff. They don't have any of that. It's just her as a grown woman,
right?
Or as a what?
Even like something we're doing right now. The she's a man. Now that wasn't true. He's the biggest fault that ever was there. Enough about it. But you can't say somebody for true. So you know very well if it was a woman, she'd be jumping on that martial artist, suing him with the false lawsuit ever seen.
I wonder if they got baby pictures of those kids
to
here.
frame a narrative around the social movements and milestones.
Where's the baby
Toward
picture?
a More Perfect Union,
I don't know.
they're approaching an exhibit called The Founding Contradictions, which is the Declaration of Independence.
If you raise those kids, you was there when they was born, and you was in the hospital. You don't see nothing about their kids like that. You don't see no baby pictures. You don't see, because those kids was given to them. It ain't their kids.
Right. It was created. They were created because it could have been the biggest. She would command that. If that's
because if you're looking at baby pictures of somebody's family, you see them when they're a baby or when they're in the hospital, and you see them when they're growing up. Not them; they're automatically 5 years old, or or 4. That's when they was given to them, and then you see it, and then you see her already married and dressed up. No teenager pictures, no nothing else. Already, it's really weird. But
they started with the the Pentagon. You there, and they get all the fixes they did, all the certificate, the birth certificate, and everything like that. It was all
that whole thing is phony. They're phony.
It's phony. Had been administration for 4 years.
I mean, the Obama administration's phony. The Biden deal was phony. I mean, the whole thing's phony. It's all a lie. It's all big lie.
So we immediately have that sense of the voice of everyday people advocating for their rights. I would add that one of the signature experiences for each exhibit gallery is a multi-level media piece that we call The Power of Words. It is a soaring 88-foot tall media canvas, which takes up a volume, an architectural volume of the building itself. And so it's almost cantilevered in its kind of expression. But it runs on a 20 to 30 minute program in which we bring forward content which is connected to each level of the museum. It also functions as a standalone installation. So the visitor connects with, is oriented by, interacts with the power of words as they make their journey through each of the 4 levels of the museum. After people have engaged with this idea of the founding documents and the role of people's voices advocating for their rights, the visitor comes across a series of kind of building blocks of American democracy. Which again highlights the social movements and milestones that are very much a part of this idea of on whose shoulders we stand. The first is a building block around the idea of abolition and reconstruction. There is a building block on the progressive era, one on the New Deal, another on women's suffrage, the right to vote, and then the final building block, so to speak, in Toward a More Perfect Union is addressing the modern civil rights movement and the
Martin Luther King. I'm sure he paved the way where he could be even go into office. Martin Luther King helped that, but that's not Obama stuff. That's Martin Luther King stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Don't that's supposed to be in a Martin Luther King museum, not his museum, not Obama museum.
That's right. He used that access to supported. They legitimacy, right?
Yeah. It's weird. It's like they're stealing stuff from other people to put into their library. But that's supposed to be all about him, not about somebody else.
Yeah, definitely.
They're phony, man. I mean, it's just
great society.
All
again,
phony.
You get this really formative grounding understanding of democracy.
They use people to hold up their power.
But President Obama's journey was made possible because of these social movements and milestones. Each exhibit case highlights really beautiful objects that underscore the idea of historical documentation. One example I will give is that of the pocket watch that Martin Luther King gifted to Bayard Rustin, who had been one of the organizers of the March on Washington. After Toward a More Perfect Union, the visitor enters into a space called Changing Nation, Changing World. It is about the social movements of the 1960s through the early 1990s. So this is the formative world in which President and Mrs. Obama are being raised. Their worldview is being shaped. We have a story around the president's multicultural upbringing. For Mrs. Obama, a story about her upbringing on the south side of Chicago, so very local to the overall experience. They then learn about the president kind of finding his purpose in Chicago as a community organizer. They see how President and Mrs. Obama's stories come together through building lives of service. And then we enter into the story of the 2008 presidential campaign.
Mrs. Obama, where was she again? Yeah, the thing about Mrs. Obama there is
the 2008 presidential campaign. There's a large-scale panoramic media piece called Yes, We Can, which lifts up the voices of...
They showed a little bit there.
There's a large-scale...
Try to say where they showed Mrs. Obama there.
And then we enter into the story of the 2008 presidential campaign. There's a large-scale panoramic media piece called Yes, We Can, which lifts up the...
Say what?
They're showing other people there. They have nothing to say. You know, they don't have a.
They showed him already dressed up like a woman, and then it shows her with no hair. You know, when he had his hair cut off, he looked like a dude.
Mm-hmm.
They showed that. A woman with no hair.
Right?
But then they had a picture of some father with a girl and a boy. So which one was he?
Well, he had a picture of his father. He was a rugged looking character. He was terrorist, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the exact member for America.
Yeah.
It's amazing
Voices of many of the volunteers.
They kept things going. They got away with it.
It's just really weird. I'm gonna go and see what all else. Oh, they got somebody else's stuff. They're in there with the immigration now. Oh, here we go. Well, you know, all these illegal immigrants, they got to throw that in there. And it's
more Trump.
Yes, it's really weird stuff where they got to promote all these illegal immigrants. We've got to have them to pick vegetables. We got to have them that. I'm gonna tell you this. At this time, we have more machinery that picks the vegetables, that does a lot of the farming, that they don't even need human hands on it anymore.
True.
And that's the thing they're not telling them. Yes, there is some farms that do use illegal immigrants. They do. That's the ones that can't afford the machinery. But the big farms that actually can't afford the machinery, they don't really have many humans out there. They just have somebody driving the tractor with the thing behind it, picking up the stuff, throwing it in the truck, and that's about it.
That's it. Basically, one before they can't possibly win on their own merit because they don't have anything to offer. That's been the thing, you know, all the way around. Just like not sure. In fact, California, there, the mayor or the governor there, he wanted to outlaw or make it a criminal law. If you ask somebody for identification to vote or something, that's a crime, and you can be arrested for that, for wanting somebody to validate who they are. I mean, that's just how crazy it is. I mean, you know, it's obvious that everybody knows that, and they know it too. They know they don't stand a chance. And if that SAVE Act goes through, which I pray that it does, that would knock all that out. They couldn't do it anymore. So the gap's being closed in. We're not going to be able to slide anything in. So it's closing in on them. They all know that right now with the evidence and everything, and it's getting tighter and tighter. And I believe we will see something, hopefully, before very long when justice starts. Because once it does, it's going to be like dominoes. But it's the idea of getting started.
Yeah, that's it. They really got to get something started there to get all that taken care of for sure. But yes, as I'm saying, we actually, you know, we do need that SAVE Act to stop a lot of this. Mm-hmm. It actually stop them in their tracks, and it'll stop. There is laws that states have to stop this type of illegal stuff. That you have to have a driver's license. You got to have a driver's license to buy alcohol. You have a driver's license to go into different places. You got to have a license to you know, for a little bit of everything. You got to have driver's license.
That's true. That's true. Even to go to the Democratic Party, they tell me when they go in there, they have to show identification, but yet no identification. I mean, it's so obvious that a person would either have to be, like President Trump said, they either have to be stupid or evil, because you have to be evil wanting to do it for that purpose, or I can't even believe anybody's that stupid. Just has any common sense. I mean, they have to be mentally retarded, not to really know that their faculties can't be working, because nobody could miss that. Nobody.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, they had Obama. He's saying, yeah, and all the dreamers. What if they want to dream? They need a dream to go through school to become a American citizen, not just come over here and say, hey, I'm an American citizen. You do that over in other countries, they shoot you. You just don't come into their country. Hey, I'm a citizen. It don't work like that.
No, you wouldn't do it like you say in other countries. In fact, their big dreams are to come in here and be part of the fraud. That's where a lot of them are being used. That's their business, making big money. They're making a lot bigger money doing fraud, driving their Rolls Royces and everything, and they are to get a job. That's really what it is. That's what they're offering them. And of course, it's falling down now, and of course, that's why they're being scattered. It's not going to be as much there, so the people aren't going to stick around.
Yeah,
a lot of these people migrating back.
Yeah, they said some of these guys from Kenya was coming from Kenya. They was riding a donkey and living in a tent, and then when they come over to the United States, they're riding a limousine and living in a mansion.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Those guys, the women, they had one building that said there's 198 businesses in there. They were getting millions each business. You could probably billions and billions of dollars just that one place. It's an astronomical. There's enough. If we had all the fraud money, the national debt would be free, and they wouldn't have to charge a dime of tax. They could do everything. I really think it'd be that ridiculous.
What's so weird is I'm an American citizen. I've worked my fingers to the bone all my life. I could just barely afford a house, but these guys, as soon as they come across the border, they already got a big old fine $500,000 house, got a big old Bentley, and they can have anything they want. Go to the grocery store, just load up the buggy, they good. But American citizens can't even do that.
Right. Well, they even gave them $40,000, I believe, to start a business. So if you want to start a business, they're not going to give you a dime. You're going to have to earn it. But they give money to start a business. I think it used to be $40,000. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think so. And that was before all this illegal business was going on. But they just give them that big a deal. But the American people don't get that. People have paid all their life. They come in here in another country and say, "Oh, you're not going to pay any taxes. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that." Where's the break for the people? Say, and we've been hoodooed. So bad, we don't realize how bad we've been taken advantage of.
And I guarantee you, American citizen, regular Caucasian man, go try to get them a loan, and a regular hardworking man try to get a loan. I guarantee you, it'd be hard for you to get a loan. But if one of these illegals come in there, or somebody else come in there, they'll open the doors. We got anything you want. We'll start you out at $199 a month. It's just the way that is. We'll get you in this big home, your dream home. It's just
You're right. And they wonder why they're coming here. They say, why are they coming here? We can't figure why we have so many criminals here. Well, when you're offering everything, I mean, who wouldn't want to come in and have all that stuff right there? I mean, you're being set up better than somebody working 40, 50 years.
That's the truth. Back in the day, they treated everybody the same. It ain't like that no more. It's they scream about racism, but they're more racist than anybody I've ever saw in my life. If you ain't the color they like, they judge you or they try to kick you away. You got to be what they're looking for.
Yeah, if you don't agree with them,
that's crazy.
That's it. If you don't agree with them 100%, because you're everything in the book. But if you notice, they use a race card whenever they can't talk anymore. They know they don't have the battle because they can't argue any point of anything that they're going to do. So the only thing they can do is start going against the race and say, we hate this, we hate that, they did this. It's just like the governor from California, he'd blame it on Trump, but they're checking him and his wife out. It began back in the Biden administration that they started checking on the governor. It was Trump, and they lie. It's just all a bunch of lies. And it's really, my wife, we look at these, we catch different ones. We have several. We look at really good what they're saying. And we look at that. And I'll tell you, being honest, just like when you had the bum on there, I can't look at these people hardly. It's just, it'd be like listening to somebody curse and swear and pornographical and garbage. I mean, it's just looking like a cesspool. You just, I can't hardly stand it. It makes me sick.
Because they stand for manipulation and lies. That's what they're all about. They cannot win a vote. They cannot win an election without cheating or lying. That's the only thing they could do. They have nothing to show. I mean, how in the heck can you win a vote when half the people in your party is guys dressed up like women and women dressed up like guys rolling around weird, telling little kids they need to cut off their privates and become a different. I mean, how can you win anything saying that?
Yeah, it's not even. Well, I'll give you a good example. For mayor there against the other one in California. Not the popular, not the other one, but the one that was losing. you know, she was crying, you know, and she said, you know, she said, I'm just so thankful that I have my 2 kids here. They weren't in the midst of all these people that are outside, all these perverted people. I'm glad that they're safe from them. But yet, on the other hand, what she's saying is, hey, there's nothing wrong to having schools beside these perverts and having nurseries and everything. That's perfectly okay for you guys. But boy, I'm so glad my children aren't there. I don't want them around these people. They can get hurt. I mean, you know, so as long as it doesn't happen to me and my family, that's okay. But yours, I could care less if you're out amongst there and your child gets raped or hurt or murdered. And that's what they're saying. I mean, and they didn't say too much about her saying that. I was telling my wife, I said, you know, honey, I said, I hadn't seen very much said about that. Even the podcast hadn't said a lot. But when you listen to it carefully, the way she was upset about her own kids, yet the same ones whether to throw our kids out to the dogs. And that's what they are. I mean, they live in big homes. They got all kinds of protection. But the people that are living out there in the streets are the ones that can get hurt, get raped, or whatever would happen to them. You know, they're the ones that have to face the music.
It's sort of like all these politicians in California that their people hates them. They can't stand them in office, but all of a sudden they all get voted in.
Yeah.
That's how is that? I mean, only way that could happen is if they're cheating and throwing a bunch of votes in and they're winning because you see them walking through these neighborhoods. Why ain't you helping us? Our houses are burnt down. And the lady goes off on a vacation while the whole city's burning down. She's out on vacation.
Yeah. The same thing happened to Trump. Remember the Biden? He had that thing 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I went to bed then. I thought, well, how about I get up early in the morning and I'll hear the congratulations. I get up and all of a sudden, man, Biden took that thing. And that was the same thing they did with the running the mayoral race right there. He was way ahead. He was over 5 points ahead, and all of a sudden, bang. And she's not known by anybody. But the biggest suspicious thing, every single vote was for her out of the thousands that come in. Now, nobody could get all votes. They wouldn't want to go for the other one or even him, you know, but all the votes for her. I mean, you talk about that's an impossible thing. Really, can you imagine thousands of votes
they dropped all those ballots in at one time. Somebody had them piled up and dropped them all in at one time and counted everyone, and boom, there it was.
And that was a stupid way of doing it because it looked fishy that way, just like it did with Biden there with Trump beating him.
They're dumb.
Anyway. I mean, it's obvious. It doesn't take a Elon Musk to identify something like that. Anybody that doesn't have many brains that had a second grade education could look at it and say, hey, this makes no sense. That can't happen. I mean, common sense, really simple common sense it is. So that's what I mean. People that go for this stuff are either stupid or they're evil. It has to be because nobody's that dumb. Nobody aren't dumb. They have some God-given common sense, but they refuse to use it.
They had these ladies on this one podcast, and they was asking them. They said, "This is how ignorant or how dumb these people are." Said, "Do you know who was the very first president of the United States? Was it the guy? Was it the guy in the top hat, Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah,
it was Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah."
You know what Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that sometimes. I mean, some people are pretty bad, but not the amount of numbers that they're.
Where did they go to? Did they even go to school? And was their teachers on drugs? I mean, I'm trying to figure out why didn't they learn anything? I mean, it's like they wasn't taught anything. Oh, how many states is the United States? 60, 13. I'm like.
13 someone say. Oh, Lord.
These people's like mentally, all their brains is fried by drugs or something else. I mean,
that's the other thing, you know, stupid or fried brains. That's another thing. Which most of them are. Look in the streets there. They give them needles to shoot up. They give them the drugs on there. They give them $2 to $5 to vote for whoever it is. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. They caught them. One lady went to jail for doing that.
But these people are supposed to go to college. They're coming out of college. Their parents has thrown $100,000 in these colleges, and they come out dumb. I mean, why don't you just save your money and send them to community college?
You're better off.
Cheaper.
Yeah, well, the biggest colleges like Harvard and some of the big ones, they're the most liberal. Just like Professor Nez, he's an expert when it comes to. He was a professor. He knows probably more about it. And even says that. I know he does. But they're all crazy people that are teaching there, and like you said, 100,000 or more to get in there. But they're the most dangerous to go to. But you are better off going to a local trade school or something like we have around here in Rock Hill. We have some colleges like York Tech and some things. You're much better off because you go to those high rich ones. Well, you're a little bit like the girl that what's her name? You know who I mean? She's not AOC, but Ghetto. They call her.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and she went to a $35,000 grade school, paid just to go to first, second, third, fourth grade, and I think it was $125,000 a year for a school. I mean, she lived in wealth. I mean, she swam in wealth. That girl knew nothing but wealth, and then she comes out and knows what things.
She lies. Says she came out of Brooklyn and she was on the street, and come to find out she's in Ivy League schools and a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And living in a big mansion, and it's lies. They like I said, it's all lies and manipulation. That's what they're all about.
It is.
And when the only thing you can do to get elected is lie and manipulate and bring hate on people, you ain't need to be around. You need to go to church, I believe. You need to go to church.
Yes. What does Trump call her? He calls her low IQ. Just like the other one, they calls them low IQ, and they are, because the way they talk and act, and they aren't smart people. They really aren't. And they've been educated for the best schools and everything, but they are stupid people. Look who ran for vice president, Kamala. She's not smart. She's not sharp at all. There's nothing smart about her at all. No more than Biden.
She's just a puppet. She was just a puppet. That's the only thing she was.
Yeah, those people. She can't even bring a sentence out right. She brings stupid talk. And it makes no kind of sense, Biden made more sense in the debate with Trump there than she made the whole time,
He didn't know where he was.
He thought he was running for a senator one time. Yeah. He didn't know how to get back to the house. They had to turn him around to get back to the house or take him off the stage. They said off this way. And Obama had to lead him off the stage. Where to go?
Then they took him to a summit and he started talking to dead people, invisible people walking around. Hey, Johnny, is it? He's been dead for 5 years. How are you seeing him? Oh, yeah, Obama had him up on stage for his presidential library, and he's up there looking around. Yeah. Do you know where he was? And Obama said, go down those stairs.
Yes. You know who's thinking about running for president, wants to be vice president. He wants to be with the man from the governor there, Newsom. That's Biden's son. Can you believe that? I mean, that's a big joke.
This is what Obama said. Thank you, President Biden, for signing the papers for all this to happen. And he didn't sign no papers.
Right. He did. I'll tell you. But Biden's not really mad at all. He's mad at the Democratic Party, and he wants to go with Newsom. And Newsom even said that. He was smiling when he said it, but he probably thought, man, I don't want any parts of that guy, because that's a joke. That's a joke. That's like, well, it's ridiculous. It's like saying that one of us would be up in the category of Musk and them with our finances, big multi-billionaires. No, that's ridiculous. It's just, he's unqualified. He's no more qualified to be up there than I am.
Yes,
I'm more qualified because I have principles. I haven't been in the
political. No, you're actually a speaker. You speak all the time. It's a constant thing. It ain't like you're going there to sleep and then somebody's waking you up and giving you a ice cream cone to wake you up, and then get
on the beach, huh?
Hope to God it don't give you brain freeze. That'll make it even worse. You're like,
yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe. But she never had much of a tan. He must have been under the umbrella more than he was the sun. But he never looked real dark, because he had a nice suntan.
I mean, it's just really crazy stuff. And you've got to have some common sense. I mean, straightforward. You got to understand that these so-called dreamers are voters, Democrat voters. When you hear them say dreamer, think about Democrat voter. That's what they should say. They should say dreamers. Oh, I meant voters. I mean, dreamers.
Yeah, right. Democrats, as Trump calls them. He don't even call them Democrats anymore. He writes these letters, Democrats.
Yeah.
But
they're not dreamers, they're voters. That's what
they're dreaming. They're saying, how in the world am I going to get out of this mess? I'm going to get home here pretty soon. That's what they're thinking. They're talking tough, but when they get by themselves right there with their others, saying, what are we going to do? It looks like we're going down the tubes. I'm sure they say that. They don't talk big with one another. They're honest with one another. They know what
Here it is.
Numbered.
I want y'all to see this again. This thing is weird. It looks like something off of Star Wars. Look at that thing. That looks like something that Darth Vader used to live in or something.
That's horrible.
What? Yeah, I mean, it looks like a rock. I mean, what?
Yeah.
What?
I don't
what
know.
is? I mean, it don't even look like a rock.
Something on the sand on the beach.
Yeah. I mean, what type of art is that? I mean, I've never. It's just a really weird thing, but I don't know. It's yeah, we're praying, Robert, we're praying that Obama actually gets a better library. Let it actually look like a building, what I'm praying for. Real. We're talking about praying. He needs a lot of prayer. Good Lord.
What is a 6x9 building there where he's going to wind up if he's fortunate, a 6x9 space.
Yeah,
that's a cell with bars right there. It'd be his library. But yeah, it is. But my wife and I looked at it. She said, "How can they place?" I mean, he always seemed like a man with class and artistic and really, polished type guy. And he's building a disaster like that. Well, that shows you how crazy these people are, because it shows you really what they really are is a bunch of junk.
Yes, it's all a lie and manipulation. Only thing they're having that to do is to lie and manipulate and tell people, oh, this is about the first black president. He didn't help the African American community at all.
No, and he wasn't the first black president, really. In fact, I heard some black brothers say that he was the first interracial because he had a white mother and a black father. He's an interracial man, but he wasn't a pure black man.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a pure black man at all, by no means.
He's an insult. I know I look at a lot of black podcasts. We follow their great broadcasters, really good men, and they are so disgusted with that. And they come out with the truth of a lot of things. And really, I believe these good podcasters that we see have taken the place of ABC, CBS, NBC, and all those, because they are.
I want to know, what did he do for the African American community? What did he actually do? Except say that he was.
One thing. I couldn't. You have to ask somebody else that question, but I can't. All I can say is he did one thing. He caused division and hatred for the white against the black, and saying, well, look what happened here, look what they're doing to you. But he wanted to keep them back in the farm or back in the field. That's what the government tried to do. Even Johnson said that back in about 65. He said, we're going to tell these black people, we're going to keep these black people in bondage for 250 years. That was back around 65. And they did it for a good many years, because, we're talking 60 years later. But they're opening their eyes, and they've been hoodoo.
He was phony. He was he was phony. It was nothing but a joke, and they try to use the African American community to bring him in. They voted him in just to do what he did, was trying to corrupt America and start this downfall of America with this Nazism and big government, and trying to get the African American community to think that he's going to do a lot for him. He didn't do anything for him.
No, I
don't know anything that he did for him.
He didn't. Well, one thing he did do, and that he's the biggest fault of the war back there, back there in 65, 66, 67, right there. That was it. He could have stopped that, but he didn't want to stop it because he didn't want to look bad. So all those deaths, all that needlessness was his fault.
I do know that he put billions of dollars on an airplane sent to Iran.
That was Obama. He took all the seats out, and it was, Trump said several billion was on there, almost $2 billion, and they got it, and they used that to build war weapons against us. And they still went back and did a bunch of testing.
I wish you'd send me an airplane like that, man. I'd like to have an airplane with something like that on it. That'd be cool.
Well, I just take one handful. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't have the whole plane. Just give me much I can carry in one hand.
Yeah. Get a house or something. That would that would be amazing. That they don't want to help the American citizens. They want to help illegal immigrants and they want to help other countries, but not their own nation.
Yeah,
Not their own nation. I mean, why do we even need these people around? They should just put them on a bus and send them right back to where they came from, because they're not doing us no good. I mean,
they're working on it. That's why we're getting rid of these people, and they need to get them out of politics, which is going to happen too. But there's so much debris in that swamp right there. It was so loaded. It takes time. It's an act of God and the right people. It's an act of God to get it done, because if it wouldn't be for God working on us, we would be in the same worst. But it's an act of God what's going on.
Yeah, that's the library. It does look kind of like a jail.
Yeah. It does. Or a mausoleum. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a jail or a mausoleum. I don't know what. I mean,
it's not like.
Yeah, I just don't understand what that is. And then it shows him sitting there thinking about all of his accomplishments. You know, all the things that he did as a president. He didn't really do a lot, and everything that he did do was undone. So I'm trying to figure. He don't really.
He was always. He did a good job, but now it's done by President Trump.
Yep. And the thing of it was, back in the day, I actually voted for him back in the day, because he was promised to do some good stuff. Because I'm a Republican don't mean that I won't vote for somebody who's doing good stuff. So back in those days, there was big promises that he was actually promoting, that he was going to do this and he was going to do that.
Oh, he sounds good. Look good. No, but you know, I can't fault if you vote for him. I'm a bigger mistaker. This is big. Back in 1976, I voted for what's his name right there? I'll say it in a minute.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, yeah, Jimmy Carter. Back in 76, he came to Hagerstown, Maryland. It impressed me and my wife. We were impressed, so we voted for Carter. And he was one of the worst presidents. He wasn't evil, but he just made so many mistakes. He just didn't know what he was doing, and made a lot of mistakes and messed up things.
I'm gonna tell you something that my dad did. My dad had a German Shepherd back in the 70s, and the dog would bark all the time. He'd get mad at it and throw something at it and tell it to shut up. And one night, my mom told me he started barking, and somebody was stealing his Jimmy Carter tag off the back of his car. And he told the dog to shut up, and he woke up and went outside. His Jimmy Carter tag was pulled off his car and thrown him. Because my dad was a big Democrat. All of my mom's side is Republicans. That's where I was raised with them.
Is that right?
Yeah. So somebody took his Jimmy Carter tag and threw it.
Well, my wife's parents were Democrats. My family was Republicans, but then they turned Republican then. But they you know, there were differences, you know, and everything. And in fact, my wife's grandfather, and praise God, we're the opposite, but he was in the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh man.
Yeah, and there's some situations in families, but that goes to show you how it's reversed, because it's not anything of that on us. Because, well, actually, I'll tell you what, Stan, you know, our ministry, I work with so many black ministers, a pastor, co-pastor with them, carried services, probably as much or maybe more than white churches, you know. I'm like Brother Shambach. He used to always work, and that's the way I've been, like that, operating like he did. And because I tell you, that's one thing that's really, I hate to see that racism. I hate that word. Because that word, anybody that's a racist will go to hell. They won't make a rapture. I mean, that's one of the worst things when you are that way. You know, that's very serious. I hate that word, and those people would do something like that, they ought to burn in hell themselves, because you're causing division in God's creation, and God doesn't appreciate that. I'm glad I'm not in that place. You know what I mean? Somebody like that.
Yeah, I want to say hey to Wendy, hey to Carmi. I've seen you guys. I just know opened up the other one. thank you guys for watching. I do ask you to share. Thank my wife for sharing it. Thank all you guys. If I'm not seeing the ones that is in here that is watching on other pages, I'll thank you so much for sharing the podcast. So, and we're talking about the Obama library, and it's very unique, and I knew that it was because they was talking about how they was actually trying to build that thing, and they was having the issues with it, and the contractors was having problems with it. At one time, the President Trump was trying to about stop it because it was nothing but a mess, and somehow it got to finish, and that's a good, I guess it's all right for Obama, but I don't know, his legacy is not something to really talk about a whole lot to the point. I mean, it's all right, but it ain't like he did wonders. He was sort of what do you want to call it? When he was in college, he was sort of a protester. He was I don't know how you want to say that.
He could be like a hippie or a troublemaker, really. What he was, he did drugs, I believe, and things. He wasn't a straight person in what he did. And you said about the building. He only wanted African American contractors to build it. He said, "Well, I want to have black people build this," and he turned around and get black people like he wants to help them their businesses. Then he turned around, they got it done. Didn't pay them, and there's a number of them have lost business, bankruptcy, and then there's a lot of black people live around there, and I've seen them on TV there, and they're really angry that this man's coming in, taking our territory, and look what he did to the black men. He accused the black men for not voting for Kamala, and he said that he put them down and everything. They got mad about that. They were being put down, said, if you don't vote for Kamala, you're not this or not that. And so he really spit on them right there, and they were angry about that. I mean, he hurt the races. He did more against the black races than any president I know of. The big divider, Professor Nez calls him the divider, because he's the one that brought division.
He didn't bring unity; he brought division. And that's a demonic thing,
House to down to the fall. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. Martin Luther King, that's what I was trying to think. Martin Luther King brought unity. He was trying to bring all colors, all nations together in unity. Amen. And for white, black, all nationalities together to be one man, not to be divided. This dude is nothing about Martin Luther King. He's nothing about Martin Luther King. He's all about division. He's completely different than Martin Luther King.
Oh my!
He's completely different from that. And then he had enough nerve to put Martin Luther King stuff in his library, which he was nothing about that. He was all about division and separation and all those things, and lie, manipulate. That was the way Martin Luther King was all about unification. Real unification.
He was
not what this joker was about, by no means.
His daughter was against Obama. In fact, she stood with Trump and people, his family, because they're Christian people and they knew what right was and what wrong was. He wouldn't have been proud of Jesse Jackson either. Yeah. Jesse Jackson, or of course Sharpton or Obama. He'd be back there. He would not be, because they were exactly opposite him. They wrote his.
Sharpton is nothing but a race bait. Sharpton is nothing but race bait. He's always trying to start something with race.
That's where he made his money.
Yeah.
Obama forgave him for $8 million back taxes. I think he owed $8 million, and it was erased off the record because he's one of the big. He is the biggest rate baser, I believe. One of that I can think of, anyhow.
Yeah, he's a divider, just like Obama is. He's paid to divide, to bring division. That's what he's in there. When you're spreading race baiting, you're spreading division. You're doing what the devil does. He don't want no unification, because we are a mixed nationality in this country. We got all different races, all different colors, and what's going to make us strong is to be unified, not to be separated.
That's exactly right.
So they send these jokers out they send these jokers out, and they pay them millions of dollars to start race baiting. And these white people's terrible, and he's tiny, and these people are terrible, and they just smear that to bring division upon all the United States people. And how are you gonna unify this nation doing trash like that, man?
Well, when they speak, they're looking to America, speaking what they're doing. That's why they advocate it so much, because they know what they're doing, and they're trying to shift it over to President Trump, and people are doing the right thing. And the people have been foolish enough to believe it. But the biggest situation in it has been the ABC, NBC, CBS, and used to be MSNBC, CNN. There's been the problems with it because they've lied right along with them. They've frauded with them. And it wouldn't have been fair if they would be an honest news people. They wouldn't have got. They'd been done long ago. They'd have been done back in the 60s or before that. This would never happen. But because the newscasters and people don't look any further into their nose, that's what happens. People they just don't use wisdom. They just believe anything that somebody says something. You want to believe them without checking it out. You don't check anything out. They just believe it, like they take it as gospel and say, "Well, so and so, Pastor so and so did this." Now I'm going to tell somebody, Pastor so and so did that. First place, we're not the gossip. Second place, you don't take anything unless you check it out yourself or fully persuaded. And if you don't know it, ask God. Say, God, what is this? But it's not for us to tear something down.
You talk about the Ku Klux Klan. Guess who has been supporting the Ku Klux Klan? The Democratic Party.
Exactly.
They track their money all the way to the ones they hate, and they're saying they're terrible and they're against the people, but then they're shipping millions over into their pockets.
And you know who the leaders were? A lot of them.
It's all Democrats. The Ku Klux Klan was Democratic Party.
Baptist pastors. I'm not knocking the Baptists now. Don't get me wrong, but it was because they preach hate. And they call themselves Christians. And it's people. We're known by our fruits. We're known by our fruits. In other words, I can tell you on this, I can tell you on that. But like Paul said, I'll show you by my faith, by my works, And what do they see in us? What are we reflecting off, I mean, people can say a lot of things, but these people look so foolish because very well they're the opposite of what they're saying. When Newsom says things or Obama, it's the opposite. And it's putrefying, to look at it.
Jesse Jackson's funeral. Obama and a lot of these clowns, these Democratic clowns, Clinton, Obama, and all the other ones, went to Jesse Jackson's funeral, and Jesse Jackson's son said, "Do not use this for a political stage for you. I want you just to talk about my father and how he benefited you and how he helped. I don't want this to promote any type of political thing." Mm-hmm. And they did the opposite. They went up there talking trash about the president, all this, and we're needing our voters. I mean, our what do you call them? Dreamers. We need our dreamers.
Our dreamers, our supporters here. We need your help for our democracy. And it's true when they say our democracy, that's true, but it isn't our democracy.
It's not yours, but it's theirs.
Right, their democracy. We're their slaves. They want, That's it. I mean, people, especially in California, these people know, but most of them are against him. But because of the frauds, why these people get backing off, it's nothing but fraud. Because if you had an honest vote, none of these crooks would be in, because they don't have that many people, but they multiply by the illegals and by the votes. They have people 300 years old or been dead 200 years. They have them, and they vote 25 times. I mean, I could become president the way they do it. I mean,
anybody could.
Yeah, anybody could make it, because that's why it's been, because there's not a one of them would have made it if it had been fair play. Obama might have had a chance because he came in as a dashing guy. They thought he was a messiah. In fact, Jesse Jackson's son was in a mental institution for a while. He actually wanted Obama to be in the Bible. I believe the book of 3 Peter or something. I kind of forget what it was, but he was really caught up in that. But then he came back, and I believe he became all right then. But he was really out there for a while. He was just completely thought he was a messiah, which a lot of them did. A lot of them exalted Obama like that.
He wasn't no messiah by no means.
Yeah.
No messiah. He didn't get no priesthood by no means. He's married to a dude that dressed up like a big woman Then he smokes the cigarettes and he's going around kissing dudes on the mountain. That ain't no Messiah, man.
No, I haven't seen anybody yet that looks close to the Messiah I worship. I haven't seen nobody. I mean, nobody in the Bible, nobody on the street, nobody on TV, or anybody I've ever heard of.
Yeah, that's no Messiah there. And then he's preaching division to everybody, and he's telling everybody, you know, everybody sucks and you suck, you know, all these things. It's just really crazy stuff. But anyway, like I said, it's just I don't know how many people will go there. I mean, I don't know. It might be some that will, maybe some that won't. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know whether they'll be lining up to go there. By no means. I know people will line up to go to the Abraham Lincoln Library. It's really famous. A lot of people goes there.
Oh yeah.
I know George Washington, which was the first president, not Lincoln, but George Washington was the first president.
What's the time between those two? Like about what was it? About 67 years. Because about 1961, 1794, I believe. So about 67, something like that, between the two times. But yeah, you know. But these men, I really believe it. You know, from what's going on, it's because God's doing it. It's not because of him. Just all.
Yeah.
President Trump, the work he's doing, he's right in the category of Mount Rushmore because he's doing more for the work of God. He's doing more for a lot of things. He makes his mistakes like we all do, like everybody does. But yet, he accomplished so much. And the reason, like you say, he isn't doing in Iran, you know, that they'll never come. You can't come in agreement with those people. You have to defeat them. But the reason he hasn't done it over there, he doesn't want to hurt the Iranian people because those people love what he's doing. They want to live. They want freedom. And if he does that, it's going to be hurt. There's going to be a lot of fighting.
This is the funny thing. He said, "Oh yeah, we got to praise the Indian people. We got to praise all these people that helped America." Those guys didn't build any of those buildings. Christian people that came over on our ancestors came over helped build a lot of these cities. A lot of our ancestors helped build these cities. It wasn't some type of, you know, a lot of people in teepees out there trying to build these great big old cities. It was people from Europe. Our ancestors came from Europe, build these cities, build these towns.
Obama said it was the Muslims that built the country, and you know better than that, and I know better than that.
They didn't exist over here back in those days. No, it was a Christian community.
They did. I mean, but people bought into that. I've heard it.
Well, then again, as you know, these people ain't smart enough to know what really happened. I don't even think they even been to school to learn anything. So I don't really understand the whole thing. I think Ed's camera or something went off there. But as I was saying, you know, I just really believe that they find some folks that is not very smart to actually go and do a lot of, to talk. And then when they do that, it makes them look smart because they got people that's less smarter there with them to make a point. So I don't know. It's just really weird how our politics are and how a lot of that stuff is going on. But I would say this, pray for our nation. And I'm glad that Obama got his library. He was a president. He was voted in, however he was voted in. A lot of people actually voted for him, but I guess they was bamboozled like a lot of other people. I mean, a lot of people was bamboozled by some of the things that he said that he was, that he was going to do this and that. And he didn't do nothing. He just sat there and promoted division. He tried to get a health plan through that was actually going to make health plans more expensive and have more issues in with the health plans. But I don't know. It's just a lot of weird things. But I am glad that he got his own library and got it open. That's his thing. But I just don't really see a lot for his time in the White House. It just seemed like some of the stuff was just wasn't much that he did, and wasn't a whole much that he helped. But I would say this, that we do have a president now that is trying to do something. So that is the amazing thing. We do have a president now that is trying to do something. And the reason they hate him so much is because he is doing something. These people don't dislike you if you're playing along with the same card. If you're playing into their pocket, they love you, they hug you, they promote you, they put you on the news. But if you're trying to do good for this nation, they hate you because you're changing what they have been trying to build for many, many years. We've had nations, we've had all these different nations and countries trying to tear our nation down because we have helped the world through the things that we've learned in this nation, through our people, through a lot of things that our nation has helped other countries. And they're jealous of what we have. They're completely jealous of what we have. And, they've talked so much trash about the United States to a point that they don't really understand what we have. And I'm going to show you what they find out when they come to America. America is an amazing place, guys. It's not a nightmare. It's not all that crap that they say that America is. It is actually an awesome place. And when they go and they find out what America is, I want you guys to see this. This is all the people that's coming in for the Olympics. A lot of these people has never been in America before. They've never been in America before, but this is their first time walking around America for being in the Olympics and doing things like this. And this is what they found out. Here we go. This is people in the Olympics for the first time walking in America. Here they are.
USA
the United States of America.
I'm in America.
Keep it
When
like
they say everything in America is big, I understand it. Why the hell is this quesadilla the size of my head? And I've got 3 of them.
Americans, you are so lucky.
Whoa. And you take your fingers and you lift that up and you eat it. Okay. Not with a fork.
Nothing comes close to the USA.
Chick-fil-A for the first time as a family.
Chick-fil-A.
So good. Dang. Woman walking alone with fancy handbags, jewelry on, glasses on. They're not being harassed, nothing. If they were South Africa, gosh, first of all, I wouldn't be able to walk through this blimmin' park by myself.
Everything just big, ginormous, extra large.
He's eating good ribs for the first time like that.
Oh my God.
Give it a go.
They're eating Chick-fil-A for the first time.
I'm talking about that chicken is delicious.
Better than KFC.
Oh,
I'm saying so.
I'm saying it's better than KFC. It's good. It's good.
They have Bible verses on the bottom of their cup. Never.
I just feel like you're so lucky to live here.
Everything in the US simply beats anything I've ever experienced anywhere in the world.
God bless America.
This place is freaking awesome. You can't make this up. This is too wonderful. All glory goes to God for preserving this wonderful country.
There we go. Glory be to God for preserving the United States. We are an awesome country. The only thing that we got to learn is unity. We have to learn unity. We need to get rid of these people that's promoting division, and we have to learn unity. All nationalities come together, not divided. When you hear these race baiters, they don't need to be around. They only need to be in the government. They need to defund them. These race baiters can't sow division if people quits giving millions of dollars to go and do their race baiting and bring unity. We need politicians that brings unity to bring the nation together, not division. And that's for sure. I think that's one of the biggest things we do. We do need unity, and we don't need these dreamers. The Democrats are dreaming for them to vote. They need to become a part of the United States. We don't need to design the United States to be where they came from, but they need to be taught how to become a U.S. citizen. These people is coming over from overseas trying to design America to fit their needs, not for them to fit the America's needs and be a blessing to our country, but to make our country bow down to them. And that's not the way it should be. You should be a blessing to the country that you're going into. You need to be useful in that way, not to bring division and all the things that we're seeing happen for sure. So anyway, Ed, he's having problems with his camera. So, but I'm going to end this right here. I know when I put Obama's library, we're going to have some people like look at it, but anyway, it's all good. Yeah, we talk about political things here. We talk about things about the Bible. We do all that stuff here. So today we actually talked about some political things. I hope this was good for you guys. I do want to let you know that this ministry and this show, this is a show. It has a little bit of a Christian value, but it is a political show. We talk about a little bit of everything. But my church program and a lot of things that I do is actually it's actually paid by you guys. If you guys don't donate, this don't go. So guys, if you would like to help this ministry, help this show, praise God, it would help a lot. Help us to pay for the restream, to get, to keep this going. It is getting tight. It is getting hard. If you guys would like to, whatever God puts on your heart to help donate, I would appreciate it. Cash App there. You can donate right there. If you do not have Cash App, we do have Venmo also. I'm going to try to get this in another way where you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. Classic. So you can donate right there for the Cash App. I'm going to leave it up there for a minute. And then we got Venmo. So you can donate on Venmo too if you like to help this ministry. We appreciate it. Praise God. And I don't really support anything that's actually bringing division in the nation. I'm not really good with that. No matter what race, nationality, if you're bringing if you are promoting unity, I'm for you. If you're promoting bringing America together, helping America to build America, I'm for you. But if you're in there to promote division and all these weird things, I'm not there, because I want to see our nation strong. I want to see it, heading towards Christ, and for Christ guiding the nation. That's what I see. And if you're for that, I'm for you. Praise God. But if you're not, I'm not. That's just the way I look at it. And everybody has their point of view, but that's my point of view with that. And see what all else I want to tell you guys. I am going to be teaching about grief Sunday evening at 5 p.m. at Mallory's place. So I will be there. I think they're going to have like a little meal at 4. And I'll be talking around 5. Limited space, guys. So get there as soon as you can. Limited space. It is a small place. So, guys, if you'd like to hear me talk about grief and some of the things I've been through, because I'm going to share some of the things I've been through also and how I went through it, and I'll be praying for folks also. So, guys, if you'd like to come there, I'd be more than happy to meet you and see you for the first time. That'd be awesome. And bring a friend with you. That's always amazing, too. I want to thank you guys for watching, Christians Concerned for the U.S., I want to thank you guys for watching. I had another thing here I was wanting to show you. Oh, yeah. My friend, plumber friend's business, he helped us out. If you need a plumber, and you live in the Catawba County in a surrounding area, Shawnee Gibson, give him a call today, 704-745-7265. He can help you out. He's quick. He gets things done. He'll have your toilet flushing, your leak fixed, all that good stuff. So if you would like to have some, help with plumbing, that would be the number you can call. He did a really good job for us. So God bless you, and I'll see you in the next program. Thank you so much for watching.